Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our reaction to The Boys episode 4 entitled The Female of the Species. We have a lot to go through here. I think this is the most traumatic plane-related event I have seen on TV since Lost.
Yep, to say the least. And Homelander, I didn't think he could get worse, but he is getting worse.
Yeah.
He is just psychotic.
Yeah, like this guy's a straight up sociopath, and yet he is like the leader of a superhero organization. These two things don't really mesh, but
it makes sense then that this is why he wants to push so hard to be part of this military unit. I mean, this guy likes killing people. I feel it. It's weird.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan of the death, but we'll talk through all that and a whole lot more. But before we get going, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. We've got more reactions to The Boys coming.
Yep.
All right, so we have to start here with this because I think this plane incident is at least the most noteworthy incident that happens in this episode.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I took away from it, because we already knew that Homelander he's just a straight up murderer.
Yeah.
He is not good. There is a lot bad with him.
Yeah.
But we got to learn a little more about Queen Maeve, who we haven't learned that much about.
Yeah.
And I was curious because some of the other people on the team are not that great people.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for that shoe to drop on what is it that is her big secret? What is her darkness? And seeing her on the plane, it didn't feel like there was one. She wanted to actually help and figure out how to save anybody from this plane.
I think Maeve has a conscience to some degree. I mean, obviously, she wanted to make sure that these people were okay. And even at the last minute, when it was clear that most of these people were going to die, she still was of the mindset of, okay, let's just try to save at least a couple people. But then at that point, Homelander was just doing his own no one can live and tell the tale sort of spiel.
And in some messed up way, I understand what he was trying to say. Because if they did come down and tell that story, that would be the end of the 7. Well, 6.
Yeah. However many there still are, there would be 0 probably after that.
Yes, it would be the end of everybody's career to save these two people and have them say that they could have saved more and they let everybody die.
Yeah.
He was kind of right. I hate saying that.
No, I know. It's true. And he's just so horrible. But
yeah, he is. I mean, he's right in that way that, yes, that could have ruined everything for everyone. But she morally was right. Save as many people as you can. I think I just mostly didn't understand when she suggested him flying back and forth and getting everybody out. And he was like, oh, man, I got to do that 124 times? Yeah, but you can do it 124 times. This is something you're capable of doing. You actually can save everybody. Nah, I'm not doing that. I was like, ooh, that's so cold.
Yeah, this guy is horrible. And I mean, I do still have questions about Maeve as well. To me, the biggest one with Maeve is mostly that, I mean, she obviously has a sense of who Homelander is.
Yep.
She probably is well aware of who other people in this world are as well. And, you know, she doesn't have to be the crusader. She doesn't have to be the one to put a stop to everything. But I also do wonder with her, you know, why doesn't she want to leave and try to do something else? Because she clearly knows that these people are bad news.
I'm assuming that she's just part of that system at this point, and maybe she was the Starlight long ago, where she felt like she could maybe make a change from the inside, and now after she's been in a relationship with Homelander to some degree, she has seen everything that's going on, she's at least making some kind of a difference, that maybe she's just become a bit apathetic about it, to feel like, yeah, okay, there are some bad things that are going on, and Homelander's a psychopath, and the Deep is a creep, and there are some other things that are happening, but at the very least, I am able to help a couple people and maybe inspire some people.
I think she's
making maybe the best of a worse situation, but I mean, maybe there's something even darker about her that we don't know yet, and they just haven't brought it out.
Yeah, my feeling is that she must be of the belief that she can help more people as a part of this group than she can by herself, because they're going to give her resources, they're going to give her things to do, and maybe she feels like there does need to be somebody who actually does make some kids out there have hope for the future.
Yeah, because if she steps down, then who replaces her?
Yeah.
Could it be somebody that's another Homelander or Deep or somebody else that's equally as awful as them?
Yeah.
And now nobody is sort of the adult in the room.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the Deep for a second, because this was the Deep saved
I don't mean to laugh.
Well, it's the whole thing with the Deep is ridiculous.
That dolphin scene was dope. It was so weird and so strange, and he's now trying to make some difference. He's got this dolphin in the back, and he's talking about doing weird things to it. He's spraying it with a spray bottle. I was laughing so hard when he stopped the car and slow motion Dolphin is just like, what is happening? And then he got ran over by that car, and immediately I just stopped laughing. The whole thing was, I felt so bad. It was dynamite. That whole scene was so dope. I loved it. It's one of the few times in a show that I was actually laughing out loud.
It was messed up.
It was so messed up.
I mean, as if the Deep was not a messed up character enough, now we got to save the dolphin. The dolphins don't want your help, the Deep. I think we can make that pretty clear at this point. The dolphins are like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, now they're good. This is how it's going to end. You're going to go through a windshield and you're run over by a car.
Yeah, this is not a good show for dolphins at the moment, the boys. God. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we learned a little bit more about what's going on in the Deep set. I even feel like we learned a little bit more about A-Train in this episode as well.
Yeah,
and,
we did.
You know, not by any means enough that would make him a sympathetic figure, but I mean, we at least, I think, know a little bit more about what's supposedly going on in his head. And he's complicated on some level.
He is, but he's also sort of in the same situation as like a Homelander who's trying to protect his brand and protect his fame and protect his job and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and willing to do a lot of stuff like we saw with this new character that's been brought in, this woman, and he's like beating her head into the side of some concrete. It was the depths that they'll go to save their jobs and their brand is incredible.
It's like we know more about A-Train and we know more about psychologically what drives him. So the character makes a little bit more sense, but that doesn't make the character's actions any less good because they're just horrible. And ultimately, I don't see any way that this is going to change. But we see the boys do their best in this episode on what I guess you could call a tracking mission, and we got to see more of the dynamic between all of them, and I think this has brought you to a conclusion when it comes to your support for Frenchie as a magnetic character on this show.
Yeah, I liked Frenchie from the first time that I met him on the show, and I just... Yeah, it solidified that out of the boys, he's my guy. I just really like him. There's something that's a little bit deeper than what some of the other characters have going on. Like, we did learn a bit more about Billy and what happened to his wife. A little bit that something happened to his wife, and clearly it involves a super, or he wouldn't be doing this. We've learned a little more about Mother's Milk. Your guy, and what's going on with him. But just seeing this other side of Frenchie where he's this kind of strange demolitions guy who's we met him, he's not really a good guy, and then you see him trying to help this person that could clearly kill him at any second, and he doesn't know her, and even though she's a super and he's got whatever issues he's got with them, he's still willing to put that aside. So it was a better, deeper dive into learning about Frenchie, and I'm all in on Frenchie. He's my guy.
Frenchie, he is fascinating. He's more than I thought he was in the first couple of episodes. In episode 2, I wasn't really feeling him all that much. I've come around on him. He doesn't bring me the same joy that Mother's Milk answering Rick Astley phone calls and just talking about domestic stuff in the midst of missions. He's still my dude, but Frenchie is compelling. This group, it's just such a weird, merry band of misfits that they're just so continuously fun to watch, and they're sort of the foundation for what makes this show, at least in part, so good.
Yeah, and it was also good to learn more about why Frenchie and Mother's Milk don't like each other, and what it is that Frenchie does on these missions that ends up turning them sideways. That he feels like he's doing the right thing, and he's trying to do something a little bit different, and he just can't be controlled in that way. And so while everybody else is on the same page, and they're all the Spice Girls, then you've got Frenchie going off to do something different that is putting them in danger, or could put them in danger.
Yeah, I feel like Frenchie may be the scary Spice of the group.
And it put himself in danger as well. I mean, this girl ended up jumping on. They both had to get gassed.
Yeah. I mean, he is the wild card. He is the guy who's just going to change things up midway through and not tell anybody.
Yeah, which again puts everybody at risk, right? So, and when you're up against superheroes, that's not good.
No, it's not. I mean, he is... I'm interested to see where it goes with him. Maybe they'll actually kind of get everything they want in the end, and then, Mother's Milk's going to be like, okay, we've done this. I'm never working with you again now.
Oh, I'm sure that's how that's going to end for that. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where things are going to go with Frenchie. He's very compelling. I'm all in on Frenchie.
There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Really, I think...
And then we also have to talk about what's going on with Huey and Starlight. He actually put that tracker, whatever it was that they wanted to... that device on her phone. I wasn't sure that he was going to do that. And even seeing the ghost of his dead girlfriend, I still didn't think he was going to do that. Like, I get that he's having conflicting feelings about it, but this is a person who has done him no wrong.
No, she hasn't. And I mean, just on paper, it feels like a really bad move for him to make. I mean, if I'm going to try to get into Huey's head, I think where he's probably coming from here is what happened with A-Train probably makes him so distrusting of all superheroes out there. And yeah, he didn't know that Annie was Starlight when he first had that conversation, and she seems nice and all of that, but I think he probably still feels like there's almost an artificiality about her that, she's ultimately, when the chips are down, she's never really going to want to be with him. She's never going to want to have some sort of life. And he feels like he had a life, obviously, that he liked. And superheroes took it away from him. So I think he feels bad about doing it. Well, I also think
he probably feels a little bit of guilt. It hasn't been that long since his girlfriend was taken out by A-Train. So, and now here he is developing another relationship.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be some guilt on that. And it's with a super. So there's guilt on top of guilt with that.
Yeah, and I think he's probably just trying to center himself and focus on himself and not let himself get, caught up in this moment, even though it seems like this moment is fine. I mean, it seems still like, Annie seems like a reasonably nice person. I'm sure she has some flaws and some issues that we don't know about just yet, but still, it doesn't seem like she's ever going to try to hurt him.
No, it doesn't. I mean, now she might.
Yeah, now she might.
The thing is, why go this route? I mean, Starlight is so new to that group.
Yeah.
She's been a little honest about how she doesn't really fit in with this group and that she doesn't like her job.
Yeah.
So, is he really going to get information from her? That's the other thing of it.
Yeah.
It's not like he's putting this device on Homelander's phone or the Deep or somebody who's actually been part of this group for a significant amount of time where he's going to get real information. I think Starlight is just so far on the outs. She's too brand new.
Yeah, I don't see this ending well for him for a number of different reasons. I think he's probably going to... This is actually my prediction, and it's silly to say this for a streaming show and we can get the answer right away, but I feel like what would happen out of this is he would end up hearing more about what's going on with Starlight and realizing that, she doesn't fit in with these people. They really are mistreating her. Everything she's saying is accurate. And then I think he's going to end up feeling really guilty and trying to find a way to undo it. But then inevitably she will find out about it and then he is totally screwed.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that may be where we're going. But let's talk about Bowling Alley. Good place for a first date.
I think so. I think there's a lot of people that take people bowling on their first date.
I think it's fine. I mean, I think there are some people who would not be into this at all, but I like bowling, so...
I think it was just... I think that whole scene was very cute.
Yeah.
I like that she was trying to throw the game to make him feel a bit better, and him actually coming forward and saying, I'm not that insecure. Just show me what you got. I know that you're doing this. Let's just take the mask off.
Yeah.
And just smoke me, because that's how it's going to be. So I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, I like the fun of it. I like sort of the spirit of it. I mean, it gave them an environment that actually gave them something active to do beyond just like sitting down and having coffee. So I think...
Yeah, that date has been done to death.
Yeah, I think it worked well within the lens of the show, and it was sort of a place where you could also put them in a number of different spots, because they could be playing, they could be going, eating some of that like terrible bowling alley food.
Yep.
Have you ever had a good bowling alley food experience?
I have.
I've been going to the wrong bowling alleys, clearly.
I always find that they have really good nachos.
Okay, yeah. So I have zero good bowling alley food experiences. But hey, apparently it's out there. What do I know? But all right, well, we'll conclude this video. Really exciting episode, insane episode. But what did you guys think of The Boys episode 4 when you first watched it? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the Carter Matt store, and we'll see you here next time.